master. Perfect.
Check.
I got you 5x5.
Awesome. All right, prime as required. We are not going to use prime at the moment.
Okay.
All clear. Yeah. Imagine when you're saying clear, somebody would be like, "No, I'm here. Stop."
Not clear.
All right, so start for 10 seconds.
Good.
Where's the end?
Good. And yeah, that's exactly why we have the hand on the throttle. So when it jumps up to anything above 1,000, we bring it right down.
Yeah.
Awesome.
1,000 RPM track.
And it's
engines gauges. Oh, they're up there.
Green
they're
and green.
On green and green. Okay, perfect. After takeoffs, after start checklist. Retract flaps in the stages. Do we have a flap indicator here?
Yes, but it doesn't work very nicely. It's going to indicate 10 degrees of flaps once it's clean.
Yep,
flaps are up and it still shows about like 8 degrees. Point of reference is 3 seconds for each 10 degree of flaps.
All right, so instrument, where was I? No, sorry. Avionics master switch. Well, no, we are at instruments yet.
Good.
North. We're at what? We're at
about north, so it might be quicker if we go the other way around.
Yeah.
It's a pain setting the heading indicators sometimes when it's exactly 100% or 100 degrees off. Exactly, yeah.
355?
That's right, that's what I got.
Avionics master switch on.
This one doesn't have an avionics master switch. BRO does, however, and it's a lot like the strobe switch we have in QNF. It's just located right here. When the avionics master is off, we don't hear each other or anything, so you just flick it on and then we can hear each other.
Okay. Radio's on. Radio's on. Transponder on standby. Already on standby. Primer lock. Primer is locked and secure. Check alternator.
There we go, light and discharge.
Light and discharge. Check circuit breakers. Oh, they're too popped.
Those aren't popped, they just kind of stand out a bit more than the rest. Popped, you'd see maybe like a white ring around it. It would be very obviously out and you would be able to push it back in.
Okay. Circuit breakers are fine.
This is what a pop circuit breaker would look like.
Oh,
once I pull that, yeah, and then you could push it back in.
Okay. Carb heat check.
You're going to notice with the 172s, they don't get as much of a drop. It's like maybe 20 to 50 RPM.
Okay. I got a little bit of a drop. I can felt it.
Exactly, and now it's slowly rising back up.
Yep. Fuel selector, right tank.
Good.
Check brakes.
Okay. Good. I'll see a lot more gradual and a lot more calm than just jamming the brakes while we're at 1500 RPM.
Okay, instrument taxi check. We'll do it on the taxiway.
Good.
Taxiing done at 1000 RPM.
Good.
All right, so do you mind, because I didn't bring my notebook, do you mind writing down the ATIS for me?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we are
Let's see if you remember the frequency for ATIS.
Was it 119 something?
119.4 is clearance. My hint to you is it's very similar to the emergency frequency. What's the emergency frequency?
121.5.
Good.
It's 121 point something.
Good, 121.15.
15?
Let's see if it works.
07
there you go, you got it.
04. CYA 528 and CYA 534 active. Inform ATC that you have information Zulu. Ottawa International, information Zulu, weather at 1600 Zulu, wind 090 at 13, gusting 18, wind variable 040 degrees to 110 degrees, visibility 15, few clouds at 6,800, 14,000 scattered, 25,000 broken, temperature 19er, dew point 2, altimeter 3028, IFR approach, RNAV, Zulu or Yankee, runway 07, inform arrival of requested approach. Landing and departing, runway 07 and 04. CYA 528 and CYA 534 active. Inform ATC that you have information Zulu.
Alright, so we have information Zulu. What I like to do is I like to listen to the ATIS from Zulu to Zulu, or from India to India, to make sure that we haven't missed anything or that it hasn't changed up on us. There are times where I've listened to the ATIS, the first one was information India, this next one was information, I don't know, Gulf or something.
Yeah.
Ottawa Center, Charlie Golf Golf, Zulu Romeo with you. Golf Golf Zulu Romeo, Ottawa Tower, good afternoon.
So since you don't have your notebook, you want me to take care of the initial clearance call, or you want to try it out?
I can try it out, but
okay.
just, where's the tail number?
Foxtrot, Romeo, Foxtrot, Quebec. That's all you have to say. So,
Foxtrot, Romeo, Foxtrot, Quebec.
Yep. So, same thing as before. It's who we're calling. Auto clearance, Cessna 172, Foxtrot, Romeo, Foxtrot, Quebec with information Zulu, requesting circuits.
Great, and cleared in, straight in 07, number 1.
And I'll write down all the instructions here. Hopefully you'll be able to see it.
Alright. Are we good to go?
You should be good.
Ottawa clearance, Cessna, Foxtrot, Romeo, Foxtrot, Quebec, currently at Ottawa Flying Club, requesting circuits with information Zulu.
Foxtrot, Romeo, Foxtrot, Quebec, Ottawa clearance, squawk 6621, runway 04, altimeter 3028, on this frequency, taxi out via Papa, contact me 1201, Holden Shore ready.
Squawk 6621, runway 04 via taxiway Papa, tower frequency 120.1. Cessna, Foxtrot, Romeo, Foxtrot, Quebec.
Good. There you go.
I just said it up. But I mean, like, at what point we can only say the 3 letters? Is it like the
what do you think?
or after the radio is?
So it's every initial radio call, we're going to say the Foxtrot, Romeo, Foxtrot, Quebec. So the first time we talk to clearance, we're going to tell them that. First time we talk to terminal, we tell them that because there could be other planes like Gulf, Foxtrot, Romeo, Foxtrot, Quebec. The rule of thumb is whenever whoever we're talking to calls us by the last 3 letters, that's when we could start repeating those last 3 letters, and we could omit the whole Foxtrot at the beginning, or Gulf. Good, so with the information we got, what do you think we should do?
So we should set up our squawk code.
Good.
To
Good.
6621.
That's right. Awesome. And he told us to taxi Papa. Which direction is that?
It's on the left.
Good. So we could go ahead. What are we not going to forget to do this time?
The gyro check.
Exactly. Taxi and super
Romeo
check.
Tower winds 110 at 12, gusting 18. Clear line runway 07. Land 07, Golf Zulu Romeo.
The rudder feels very different on this plane.
Yeah. In a good way or a bad way?
It comes back to like, it has like a feedback or something. It has like a spring or something. Right?
Yep. I feel like it's a bit more responsive. You have more room to play, but with the 150 when it comes to taxiing, it's you have to use full rudder pretty much. Alright, so we're turning left.
So instrument check.
Good.
Turning left, turning right.
Ottawa Tower, Cessna 150, Golf Quebec.
We also like to confirm that the ball is in the opposite, exactly. And that the wings are showing a left turn.
Foxtrot, Ottawa Tower, left turn out for the 417-7 split, not above 1,500. The wind's 100 at 11, gusting 18. Clear takeoff, runway 04. Left turn to the split, not above 1,005, taking off to 04, Quebec North Foxtrot.
That is a pretty strong wind.
Yep.
that what you wanted?
It is.
Oh.
There we go. So today is going to be a great opportunity to see why rudder coordination and crosswind inputs are very critical, even when we taxi. When the winds are a bit stronger, you're going to notice that sometimes you might get a little bit of a wing hop, even when you're taxiing at like 10 knots.
Yeah.
So where's the wind coming from now?
From that side?
Behind and the left, right?
Oh yeah, so
there we go,
opposite.
good.
Golf Zulu Romeo, what's your destination on the field?
So, for this taxiway, we're going to go all the way to the end of the run-up bay, and then get as close as you can to the grass, and then point ourselves into the wind.
State tower frequency, taxi by Bravo to the Shell. And just for your info there, your transponder was intermittent for about the last 6-7 miles when you're inbound. Copy, transponder and Foxtrot for Bravo to Shell. Golf Zulu Romeo.
And you could use a bit of those differential braking. Beautiful.
All right. You're into the wind.
Good.
So the run-up checklist. Nose wheel straight.
Good.
Tends to come to the left. Is that because of the wind?
What's that, sorry?
The rudder.
It's because the wheel hasn't been straightened out completely, so what we could do is slowly release the brakes and let the plane roll just until the rudder comes up straight. So you could apply a bit of right rudder.
Oh, okay.
There you go, perfect. Now the nose wheel is nice and straight.
Oh, okay. I get it. Okay, brakes set at 1,000 RPM.
Good.
Fuel selector to both. Make sure fully rich. Prop blast area clear. Seems clear to me. 1,700 RPM. Oil pressure and temperature gauges, both green. Mag check. Mag on left. You get a bit of a drop.
Good.
Back on both. Get it back on. Mag on right. Get a little bit of a drop. And back on mag on both, and we get it back. Check suction unit. Green.
Good.
Ammeter load check. So we turn on all the lights. And then use flaps.
Yep.
No
light,
lights.
no discharge. We're good.
We're good.
Good.
So lean the mixture check. Lean mixture check completed. Carb heat on hot. Carb heat on hot for 20 seconds.
Alright, good. So, the downwind checks for the 172, virtually identical to the downwind checks for the 150. Again, I want you to confirm that everything is good. So, instead of saying fuel selector on, you confirm fuel selector is on both. Mixture is rich, carb hot, mags both. Same thing.
Quebec,
But we want to confirm that the fuel selector is on, in fact, on both. We don't want to be doing circuits with just the left tank, or even worse, with the fuel selector on off for whatever reason.
Alright.
So my hint to you is physically confirm everything.
Sure. Idle throttle. Throttle idle. Throttle to 1,000 RPM. And carb heat cold.
Good.
Run-up checklist completed.
Run-up checklist complete. Good.
1,000 RPM. Check. Door seats, harnesses secure.
Good. I'll close my door short of the runway.
Fuel selector on both.
Want to confirm? Yeah, your door's locked. Good.
Mixture rich. Throttle friction set. It's good. Carb heat on cold. Carb heat on cold. Mags on both. Mags on both. Controls free and correct.
Tower Echo Foxtrot, head back to Gatineau.
Controls check.
Lima Echo Foxtrot,
Trim set for takeoff. Trim set for takeoff. Electrics as required. We don't have done. Landing light on. Radio set. Radio set. This is the tower frequency.
That's right.
Nav8's test instead. We don't have them.
We do, but we're not going to use them, and we can't even get the VOR reception from here yet, I don't think.
Okay. Gyro instruments. Double check, we're at 90. That is showing 80.
About 80, 85, yeah.
So we go
Good.
5. Takeoff briefing.
Good, so I'll take control just to taxi us over. I have control. And you could give me a nice takeoff brief for the 172. Remember, this plane's in miles per hour.
All right. So one quick question is that are we going to do the circuit at runway 04, the first one?
First one we'll be departing off 04, and I'll request to do circuits on one of the main runways here.
So right away we'll go somewhere else?
Yeah, so I'll make the call to tower here, and I'll just say I want a departure off 04 with circuits on 07 or 14.
All right. So takeoff briefing. Departure of runway 04. We are rotating at 65 miles per hour.
Good.
Climb is straight at 75 miles per hour.
Yep.
Then turn probably left.
We'll see, depending on what circuit we do.
Yeah.
I will guide you, since we are doing some runway changes here for the first, second time.
Okay. So we're going to fly at 1,500. We're going to climb to 1,500 feet. Go, no-go point is the windsock for this runway.
Yes.
And winds currently are at, we checked them already.
I think they were 080.
Yeah.
What was it? 09013 gusting 18, variable between 040 and 110. So at this point, our best bet is kind of seeing where the windsock is pointing,
Yeah.
and that's where we're going to have the crosswind inputs.
Yeah. Which is like almost a complete crosswind from the right.
Exactly. So, little thing with the crosswind inputs, you already know them, but we'll just review. Full ailerons into the wind as we roll, and as we pick up speed, we're slowly going to release those crosswind inputs. So by the time we rotate, we still have a bit of ailerons into the wind, but not full. If we rotate with full, we're going to crank right into the wind. If we rotate neutral, we're immediately going to drift off the runway.
All right. In the event of a system failure during the takeoff, you'll have control, and you'll brake.
Good.
And you'll do flaps up and throttle idle, radio calls, and shut down if required.
Good.
In the event of engine failure after takeoff, you'll have control. And
I'll try to land back on one of the main runways, or I'll try to land back at a field 30 degrees of our present heading.
Yeah. In the event of engine failure above circuit height, you'll have control, and we may attempt a landing back on the runway.
Sounds good.
Takeoff briefing completed.
Good.
Passenger safety review.
Don't need that.
ETA for our first destination.
We're not in a cross country, unfortunately.
Time off.
And I just got that.
Transponder on alt.
And your controls.
I have control. Taxi to hold short of runway. We are holding short of runway 04.
Good.
And radio tower.
Good. So I'll call tower because I want to let them know that we want to do circuits on the south field here. And then I'll just guide you upon departure.
All right.
Ottawa Tower, hello, Foxtrot Romeo, Foxtrot Quebec, short 04 Papa, ready for departure, and we'd like to request circuits on the south field to start off.
Romeo Foxtrot to Quebec, roger, so right turnout, join the right downwind runway 07. The wind's 130, 12 gusting 17, clear for takeoff, runway 04.
Clear for takeoff, 04, right turn out for the right downwind 07, Romeo, Foxtrot Quebec, thanks. All right.
So we have to turn right and then pass the runway.
Exactly.
And then do the right. Okay.
That's exactly it. So I'll walk you through it as we do it, but we are good to go here.
All right.
So we're just going to fly runway track up until 900 feet, and then I'll start kind of guiding you towards the right turn for the right downwind.
Alright, I'll just stop here for a second.
Good.
I want to make the camera is also pointing up enough. Hear about it after that. I kind of feel I need to bring down my height a little. I feel like my feet They're a bit too high for the rudder.
No worries here. I'll just let them know that we're going to be a short delay here.
Okay.
And Tara, it's going to be a short delay for Romeo Foxtrot Quebec here on the takeoff.
That's approved.
Thank you, Romeo Foxtrot Quebec.
Right, so I'm ready to go.
All right. Are we ready to go?
Yeah.
Full ailerons. Good. Gauge is green.
It is green. 65.
Good. There we go. Good. Quite a bit more power, eh?
Yeah. Okay, climbing.
Look at that. We don't even have to worry about the trees at the end of the runway.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'm sorry if I didn't mention. I was looking for them, but like
No worries.
my brain was like a little bit onto the.
We'll focus on the takeoff. So after takeoff, we should probably be crabbing a tiny bit into the wind here because we have that crosswind coming in from the right.
Yeah.
You're doing pretty good, but we want to track the runway center line up until we could begin that turn here. But yeah, it's confusing when the gauges are in different places for sure.
Wow, we're climbing a lot faster.
And 900 feet, we could start the turn to the right side here.
All right, turning to the right.
I find this plane feels a lot more stable. You know, when you go through turbulence, it feels like a slow hop up and a slow hop down because we have a lot more momentum.
Yeah.
A good comparison is if you drive a sports car over a speed bump really quickly, it flies off, but if you drive a truck over a speed bump, it's able to, since it's got more weight, more momentum, penetrate right through. And we'll keep that turn going to be nice and perpendicular to 07, which runs in that direction. Exactly.
Oh wow. Ottawa Tower, Foxtrot Alpha Yankee Kilo. Alpha Yankee Kilo, Ottawa Tower, low again, altimeter 3028, squawk guide dent, and city tour approved, 1,500 feet. Traffic off your left side for about 2 miles, 1,200 unverified. That could be in the downwind at Rockcliffe. Hey, Foxtrot Alpha Yankee Kilo, roger that, we got the traffic inside, thank you.
Things are happening a lot faster here.
Yeah, that's definitely what happens with the 172, but the nice thing about it is we could also slow down a bit more in the downwind if you want to take more time. You don't have to fly at a faster cruise. Alright, so right now we're just crossing over the
Runway.
departure end of the runway, so 25.
Yeah.
07 is the other end.
I feel my controls are more responsive on this plane.
With the 150, I feel like they're a bit twitchier, but these ones are a bit smoother, I find.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
I can feel like it's a bit more like when I give inputs,
Yeah,
it's like turning faster,
Yeah.
climbing faster, but it's less sensitive at the same time.
yeah, I know what you mean. It's hard to explain, but
Yeah.
that's exactly why I like the 172s a bit more. So normally this road right here is a good, pretty good point of reference to turn that downwind.
All right, so turning to downwind right now.
And we're on a nice downwind here. We don't want to crab too much towards the runway because we have the wind coming from the left side.
Yeah.
All right, good.
All right, so I'm going to do the downwind check.
Sounds
Fuel
good.
selector on both.
Good.
I don't know who turned it to the right, but
Good,
sure.
you passed the test.
Oh boy, it's getting bumpy. Mixture fully rich. Carpet on hot.
Good.
Romeo Foxtrot, Quebec Tower, right hand circuit, winds 120 at 8, gusting 16, clear touch and go, runway 07.
Clear touch and go, runway 07. Romeo Foxtrot, Quebec.
Good. Yeah, good eyes. I don't know if you saw me reach to change the fuel selector there, but that's exactly what I'm looking for, making sure that we're following through the checks.
Mags in both, primers locked.
Good.
And we are good. Oh wow, we are going 100 miles per hour already.
What's our ground speed right now?
So what is our reference point for
Normally,
turning?
after we pass this road is a good point to bring the power down to between idle and 1500 RPM, depending on the winds and how quickly we descend. Now, my hint to you is the fact that the winds are coming in from our right, so plan out how we're going to be turning that base to final.
All right. Got a pitch for 65?
80.
Or 80?
75 to 80 miles an hour.
Okay. Wow, we're falling like a rock now.
But it's a smooth type of falling.
Yeah. So,
and I want you to aim for the first center line right after the numbers.
right after the numbers?
Right after the numbers, yeah, that first center line. Wind check.
100 at 10, gusting 16.
Thank you.
I feel I need a lot more trimming on this plane.
And try your best to maintain 80 here. Good.
This is touch and go, right?
That's right. And continue.
Continue, 600.
Is at the end of the runway. Increase. Keep that nose up. There you go. Beautiful. Good shit. And crosswind inputs on the roll. Perfect. There you go. Good. Wow. Really good flare. It's still a tiny bit flat.
Yeah.
That's just because I saw that little tendency to release a bit of the back pressure when we were in the air for as long as trying to maintain the ground effect for as long as we could. Just remember, flying's not cheap, right? You want to spend as less time on the ground as possible and keep that nose up for as long as you can.
Yeah.
Now look at the runway. Try to bring ourselves back to the runway center line here as we climb out. Now I forgot to mention on the ground in terms of crosswind inputs, once we touch down, it's probably a good idea to keep the ailerons in the wind as we do the touch and go procedure. And just like the takeoff, ease before we roll out. We're not going to have to be full ailerons into the wind, but still, we want to be nice and assertive with them.
Okay.
But good approach. Good approach.
Yeah, I just forgot the minimum check.
No worries, it's a new plane, right? So we're trying to get used to flying it.
Exactly.
But as we start getting more and more comfortable with the 172, do your best to do all the checks and try keeping that climb going at 80, please. It's another awkward thing because this plane has so much power. It's going to be a lot more nose up than the 150, and it's awkward. It feels like we're in the stall attitude for a 150. So we all fly it based off of airspeed.
Yeah, I definitely need a lot more trimming on this plane.
Yeah, for sure.
Just gonna slow us down a little bit.
Okay.
Alright, so we're about 1,500 feet.
Good.
Gonna do the downwind check. Again, fuel selector on both.
Good.
Make sure fully rich. Carb heat on hot. Engine gauges are green. Mags on both. Primer is locked.
Good.
So, downwind check completed.
Yeah, I did that again because I You know, sometimes people are like, oh, he did the trick on me, he won't do it again. But no,
Yeah.
I want to make sure everything's good.
Gonna call the tower for downwind.
Sounds good.
Ottawa Tower, this is Romeo Foxtrot Quebec, downwind for runway 07.
Romeo Foxtrot, Quebec, tower winds 100 at 10, gusting 15, cleared for touch and go, runway 07.
Cleared touch and go, runway 07, Romeo Foxtrot Quebec. Right, so gotta start pitching for 80.
Good.
A lot more trimming required.
Exactly. I was just going to say.
Like on 150, you don't really need much trimming.
Yeah. Yeah, same thing. Aiming for that first center line. I'll try to get a bit closer to it this time. And let's try to bring us down to 75 miles an hour this time.
I'm a little bit too high, so I think I'm gonna use flaps a little bit. That's okay.
Your call.
It's hard to tell what is my flap configuration. Okay, we're at 600 feet.
How are we looking?
We're stable.
Good. Continue. Good.
Flaps up. Powerful. 65.
Perfect.
Rotate.
Good. Good approach. Two little things. You let the nose drift a tiny bit in the flare. It wasn't critical, but it just drifted off to the left. We needed a bit more right rudder there in the flare, I'd say.
Yeah.
But other than that good approach, we were on the slightly faster side. Now, we were a bit fast. Actually, I'll take control for a second.
You have control.
I have control. So we were a bit fast and a bit high, and you decided to bring the flaps down. That's perfectly fine, but the first thing before I bring the flaps down is I would pitch for the approach speed I want. So even though I'm high, I would keep that nose up to bring myself down to the 75 I want, and then I would bring my flaps down and reconfigure the aircraft, trim it out, and then add or reduce the power as necessary, just so we don't get too close to overspeed in the flaps, and also we want to see what the approach is going to look like based off of the way we want to fly it. If we are at 90 miles an hour, again, we're closer to the end of the white arc, and you know, once we bring those flaps down, it's not going to give us the picture we're exactly looking for here.
Ooh. All right.
Bit of a rodeo here.
I just forgot to turn on my app.
No worries. All right, now, have you been reviewing for the P-Star?
A little bit, yes.
All right, your controls.
I have
So
control.
do you know what the light gun signals are?
The light signals?
Yes, if we have a comms failure.
So there is, they're like, yeah, I actually read on that topic.
All right.
So it's, they're like green, red, lights.
Exactly, and then we also have white for the ground.
Yeah, and the white for the ground.
All right,
So,
let's keep things interesting here. I'm gonna see if we could get the light gun for this circuit. And Tower Foxtrot, Romeo Foxtrot, Quebec. If you guys aren't too busy, we'd like the light gun signals for this circuit or the next one.
Yeah, I can do that. Watch for the light on final. Let me know when you see it.
Perfect, Wilco. Just trying to keep things interesting. Thank you, Romeo Foxtrot, Quebec. All right, so he's going to point the light gun from the tower once we're on final. and he told us to let him know when we see it. So you'll focus on flying, you'll focus on looking out for it. Once we see it, I'll make the call on approach.
Getting bump here for sure.
Yep.
All right, fuel selector on both. Make sure fully rich. Carb heat on. Carb heat on hot.
Good.
They're just like descending a little bit. I'm just gonna stop that from happening. Adding a bit of power. Engine gauge is green.
Good.
Mags on both. Primer lock. Master switch on.
Now, we're pretty close to the runway now considering the wind, so we could maybe crab a bit more to the left, just because our turn from base to final might be a bit on the tighter side here.
Okay. Alright, so we can do the downwind call, or we don't do that?
Yeah, he's already sequenced us. I think he's sequenced us. He already knows we're on the downwind and he's getting the light gun. So the next call we're gonna make is when we see the light gun signal.
So we have to flip the landing light?
No, we could just call with the little comms button once we see it.
Okay.
Just because it's practice here.
So we turn to the base now?
Yes. Alright, so now we have a few things going on. We're focusing on the approach, and we also want to see the light from tower.
Yeah. So, oh, it's red. I can see the red one.
You can see the red one?
Yeah. Do you see it?
I do not see it from here. No, it's really dark.
I'm seeing a red light from the tower. What does it mean?
It means we are not cleared to land, so we'll go down to 600 feet. We'll see if they switch it.
Yeah, it's red.
Okay. Hey, Romeo Foxtrot Quebec, we see the red light here. Alright, and we could begin the overshoot. And Romeo Foxtrot Quebec in the overshoot 07.
Romeo Foxtrot Quebec, roger, and you can turn crosswind whenever you like.
Romeo Foxtrot Quebec, thanks. So once we're 900 feet, I'd say maybe 1,000 feet, we could turn right crosswind.
I guess he's bored.
Yeah, exactly. I've never gotten a red light before. Every time I requested, it's a green light, and we just do the touch and go, so that was the first for me. It was very difficult for me to see it. How easy was it for you?
It was pretty easy, actually.
Yeah?
Maybe because of your sunglasses.
Yeah, that's right. And we'll try to keep that climb going at 80. There we go.
Oh wow, this plane just goes so fast.
That's right. So we'll do one more circuit here on 07, and then we'll hop over to 04. How does that sound?
Sure. It's really hard to pitch for 80, but
Because it's just so nose up.
yeah. Right, turning to downwind now. All right, downwind check. Fuel select.
Romeo Foxtrot, Quebec, winds 110 at 10, gusting 15, clear for touch and go, runway 07.
Clear touch and go, runway 07, Romeo Foxtrot, Quebec.
And we could continue those downwind checks.
Yeah, mixture fully rich, carb heat on hot, master switch on, mags on both, primer locked, engine gauges green.
Perfect. And Tower, after this touch and go, we'd like to return to the north field for a few more circuits, Romeo Foxtrot, Quebec.
Romeo Foxtrot, Quebec, Tower, Roger, so on the go, left turn out, join left downwind, runway 04.
On the go, left turn for the left downwind, 04, Romeo Foxtrot, Quebec.
Alright, so I'm going to start pitching for 80 knots and turning to base.
Wow. Serial cockpit, I'm not going to mention the little comment I want to make here, but things are looking good. And airspeed.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
So keep that nose up. Maybe even trim up a tiny bit here.
Total clearance, Cessna 172 Golf Bravo Romeo Oscar, radio check.
Bravo Romeo Oscar, out of a clearance, 325.
They're too high. So maybe I can try some flaps.
Good, flaps at full.
Flaps at full. Alright, so we're going to pitch down quite a lot.
Don't drop that nose. There you go.
Flaps up.
Yeah, so the reason we landed a bit more flat there was because, again, you released a bit of that back pressure in that little bit of a balloon.
Yeah.
So, at least, the biggest thing is you're not jamming that nose down, which is good. That's going to get us killed, or at least destroy the plane. We're going to land with the nose wheel first and porpoise it. But in this situation, if you balloon a tiny bit, keep that nose up and add a very slight touch of power.
Yeah.
So he told us to do a left turn for the left downwind runway 04. So
yeah.
Once we're at 900 feet, we could begin that left turn. But yeah, what I wanted to mention, I'm just tracking the circuits here, they're looking very, very consistent in terms of turns, and the track lines look very parallel and perpendicular to the runway, which is great.
Okay, I'm glad that's happening.
Good, so we got to practice an overshoot, we got to practice some comms failure procedures.
Yeah.
Now, have you reviewed any comms failure procedures for the P-Star or for the pre-solo kind of phase of flying?
You mean just the lighting?
Lighting and kind of what to do if you have a comms failure in different phases of flight.
Maybe I haven't reached to the comms failure section yet.
Okay, so this is going to be one of those emergency procedures we're going to be talking about quite a bit before we send you for solo, so we'll talk a bit more about it on the ground, but the biggest thing to remember is that we want to stay predictable, as predictable as possible.
Golf Bravo Romeo Oscar, Ottawa, clearance, squawk 6641, runway 04, altimeter 3027 on this frequency, taxi Papa, contact me on tower 1201, holding short, ready.
6641 will taxi Papa, contact tower 120.1, holding short, 04, Bravo Romeo Oscar.
Ottawa Tower, Waco, Lima Fox.
Foxtrot, Lima Echo, Foxtrot, Ottawa Tower, squawk get in, to altimeter 3027, city tour approved, 1500.
Ottawa Tower, Waco, Lima Fox. 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 Ottawa Tower, Waco, L
Oh boy.
A few drafts here and there, eh?
Yeah.
Lima Echo Foxtrot, Ottawa Tower, squawk head in, altimeter 3027, C2 approved, 1,500, you're identified.
Fox.
And try to correct the altitude as best as you can. It is bumpy. Plane flies itself, but we want to help it maintain the altitude we're looking for.
Yeah.
Good.
Altitude with power.
So in this situation, you can just pretty much bring that nose down. Power is mainly going to be on the approach phase of flight when we're closer to that zone of reverse command, a lot like slow flight.
Yeah.
But if we gain 100 feet, lose 100 feet, we don't have to make that much of a power adjustment. It could pretty much be corrected with pitch, and then we retrim it out and reset the power.
Okay. The trim is way more sensitive.
Yeah. Well, we have a bigger plate in the back of the plane with the elevators, right? There's so much, the size of the elevator for a 172 is essentially the size of the horizontal stabilizer for a 150. The plate is huge.
Yeah. Okay, so we are at 1500.
Good.
I'm going to do the downwind check. Fuel selector both, mixture fully rich, carb heat on hot. Master switch on, mags on both, primers locked, ending gauge is green.
Good.
And downwind check completed. So I'm going to do the radio call. Ottawa Tower, this is Cessna Romeo Foxtrot Quebec, downwind for runway 04.
Romeo Foxtrot, Quebec, wind 070 at 10, clear touch and go, runway 04.
Clear touch and go, runway 04, Romeo Foxtrot Quebec. Oh wow, we have drifted a lot.
Yep. Because we have that winds coming in, well, on final, they're going to be coming in from the right side.
Yeah. So I'm going to start my turn and pitching for that 80.
We could pitch for even 75, I'd say, at this point. Good. I like the fact that we're angled towards Ottawa Tower. You remember that from yesterday.
Yep. Okay, since this is a smaller runway, I kind of feel like I want to use flaps.
Okay. So we could weigh the pros and the cons of using flaps. So pros, we could approach a bit slower.
Yeah.
It's a bit easier to control if we use 20 flaps. The cons, we probably don't want to use full flaps because we have a stronger crosswind and we're going to be more susceptible to those wind changes. But it's all to your discretion here.
Alright, so I'm going to start adding 10 degrees of flap.
Now remember, this plane floats a lot.
Is that why you don't tend to use flaps?
No, but I'd be more proactive with reducing the power at this point. Aiming for that threshold. You could bring it right to idle. There you go. Bit more right aileron here. Right aileron, just maintain that, and a bit of the left rudder. There you go, good. 600 feet.
600 feet, check. You're stable.
Good. Bit of right aileron.
Oh boy.
Good. And right aileron, there you go. Good, so the flare, that's exactly what we're looking for with the upwind wheel touching down first. That was the perfect amount for the crosswind. Now the reason we drifted off towards the rotation point was, so once we were rotating, the reason we drifted off a tiny bit, two reasons. Plane's really powerful. It's got a, more of a slipstream causing that left yaw tendency.
Yeah.
Mixed with the crosswind coming in from the right side, we need to maintain a bit of the ailerons into the wind on the roll, right?
Yeah.
And as long as you've maintained the ailerons into the wind and just add enough, rudder to maintain center line, we're golden. But the approach and the flare, well done, really well done.
Decimal 1 when I'm ready, holding short runway 04. Activate Juliet.
All right, we can do one more good circuit and then we can call it full stop afterwards. How does that sound?
That's good.
So for this one, what are we going to focus on with the touchdown and rollout from the touch and go procedure?
Okay.
We're going to focus on maintaining the ailerons into the wind on the roll as we do the touch and go procedure, okay?
Okay. Start turning to downwind.
Good.
See the rail track.
All right, so a good way to remember keeping those crosswind inputs in is the slower we go, the more susceptible we are to these wind changes. That's why we have the ailerons into the wind while we taxi too. And that's why normally when it's a really strong crosswind day, I like to fly a slightly faster approach speed too. Because if we're slow, we're just like a leaf getting blown around the wind.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to do the downwind check here. Fuel selector both. Make sure fully rich. Power feed on hot. Engine gauge is green. Max and both. Master switch on. Primer lock. And the brakes are good. Don't need brakes at this moment.
Good. Yeah, I noticed you haven't been touching the brakes at all during the touch and goes. Good stuff.
Yeah, I have been trying to put my feet on the floor.
Good.
So. Gonna call the tower. Ottawa Tower, this is Cessna Romeo Foxtrot Quebec. Downwind for runway 04.
Romeo Foxtrot Quebec Tower, the wind 080 at 14, clear touch and go runway 04.
Clear touch and go runway 04, Romeo Foxtrot Quebec.
Ottawa Tower, Echo Foxtrot, head back to Gatineau.
Lima Echo Foxtrot Tower, roger, there is a couple in the circuit there at Rock Cliff. Surveillance services are terminated, cleared en route, we'll see them.
Return to base, pitch 480, 475. Lots of trimming.
So, wind's coming in from right to left on the runway. We'll remember that.
Yep.
Crosswind inputs right aileron, and typically a bit of left rudder to maintain that center line. How are we starting to look here?
You're pretty good.
I'd say we're slightly on the higher side here.
Yeah. Gonna idle the power.
Good.
Turning to final now.
There you go, good. 600 feet.
600 feet. We're stable.
Good. Get a right rudder. Alright, I'll have control for 1 second here.
You have control?
I have control. So pretty good approach, really good approach actually.
Runway 04, ready for takeoff.
it's just the flare. We were kind of drifting a tiny bit because of the wind. So remember, we're going to have the ailerons into the wind in the flare. We want to make it, the last touch and go was really good, where you made it obvious that we landed with the right wheel first before the left one. The typical rudder coordination or crosswind inputs is going to be ailerons into the wind, opposite rudder. But realistically, what we want to do with the rudder is just maintain as much input as we need to maintain that center line. There might be times where we have that wind coming from the right and we actually have to add a tiny bit of right rudder because we overcorrected initially. So you just look at the center of the cowling, right where the bolts are in the middle, where the tip of the spinner would be, and you swing that nose very slightly until you're maintaining that nice center line coordination. Now again, on the roll, we forgot to apply a bit of those ailerons. So this one's going to be a full stop, but as we, just like taxiing off, as we roll, we're still going to be increasing the ailerons into the wind.
Yeah.
Make sense?
It does.
How are you finding these winds here?
I feel if we were on a 150, it would have been worse.
Yes, I agree. 150, or like a little leaf in the wind.
Yeah.
But you're handling it really well. I'm happy with what I'm seeing here. So when you're ready, you can take control.
I have control.
Your controls. And you could request a full stop when you make the call.
All right. So I'm going to turn to downwind first, and then do the downwind check.
Good.
All right, downwind check. Fuel selector on both. Make sure fully rich. Carb heat on hot. Mags on both. Master switch on. Primer is locked.
Good.
And engine gauges are green.
Check.
Getting a lot bump here.
Yeah, this is definitely an updraft here. We're like pointing down and the plane's still climbing.
Yeah.
Do your best to correct.
I'm trying. But still, like, it's less scarier than a 150.
Yeah.
You feel the bumps less.
It's a lot more gradual up and gradual down as opposed to just hopping around.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to call the tower now.
Sounds like a plan.
Ottawa Tower, this is Cessna, Romeo, Foxtrot, Quebec, downwind for runway 04, full stop.
Romeo, Foxtrot, Quebec, tower winds 100 at 8, gusting 18, clear to land, runway 04.
Clear to land, runway 04, Romeo, Foxtrot, Quebec.
Bravo, Romeo, Oscar, contact Ottawa Terminal now on 1277, we'll see him.
1277, Bravo, Romeo, Oscar, see him.
Alright, 75.
And again, we're going to be aiming for the threshold, and we'll try to touch down by the second line.
By the second line?
Second line, but we're focusing on that threshold. That's where we want to flare by.
Yeah. I feel I'm a bit high, so
Okay.
I'm going to use flaps.
Bring that power right to idle before anything. There you go. Airspeed. Bring that nose down. There you go.
Alright, 600 feet stable.
Good, continue. This is what we want to see on approach. Beautiful recovery. Ailerons, increase them. There you go.
Ottawa Tower, Cessna 150 Foxtrot Echo Victor Juliet, on Papa, holding short runway 04, ready for departure.
And we could increase it as we slow
Foxtrot Echo
down.
Victor Juliet, tower line up runway 04.
There you go.
Up runway 04, Echo Victor Juliet.
Romeo Foxtrot, Quebec Tower, exit
I got the
BN,
call.
data's frequency, taxi in via Tango. Good day.
Tango, back to the club. We'll see you on this frequency. Have a great day, Romeo Foxtrot Quebec. All right, good work.
I feel like I could have done better.
I was happy with it. The thing is, we didn't quite wheelbarrow, but we were nice and light with the wheels at some point, and that's why we drifted very slightly towards the end. That's just us having to increase that crosswind input on the roll. That's pretty much it. Very, very good recovery from the balloon. I saw you add a very small touch of power, and that just helped us kiss the ground. You made it obvious that we landed with the right wheel. So when we touched down, that was perfect. Now, the moment we touch down, we're going to slowly increase those crosswind inputs because we're slow, we're susceptible to the wind, and we want to counteract that.
Yeah.
But great work. Today was a bumpier day, windier day, and I think the plan next flight we're going to do, I want to take you to Carp, and I want to show you what an uncontrolled circuit looks like. I think
Awesome.
you're good to take the next step here.
All right, post-landing checklist. Transponder to standby. RPM on cold. 1000 RPM. Unnecessary electrics off. Landing light off.
And we can turn the strobes off too.
Strobes off.
Beautiful.
Flaps retracted. Time down.
Got that.
Contact ground.
We don't have to do that. They just say stay on this frequency and we'll taxi back.
Close flight plan.
Great work. Solid stuff.
Well, with a good instructor like you, of course.
Oh, stop. You're making me blush.
I'm serious, man.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I showed our video to one of my friends also. He didn't believe that you're 22 years old.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, holy shit, that's impossible.
It means a lot.
Of course.
You know, it's easy when I have students who are committed and students who take feedback. You know, they know that what they're doing well and they know what they're not doing so well, and they don't try to justify.
Yeah.
You're obviously committed, and I'm very confident when I say that if we keep this momentum throughout flight training, it's not going to be a long time for you to get your private license. With the flying you're doing now, don't want to jump. I don't want to make promises. I don't want to pat you on the back here. Pat you on the back. But things are looking good for what I'm looking for when I'm signing a student out solo.
That's awesome.
Which is surprising. I don't think I've. Yeah. Yep. I'm just gonna keep it there. But good work. Good work. Beautiful. And we can do that shutdown checklist.
All right, ELT check. So we're gonna go to 1.5. Okay, completed. Radio's off. Avionics.
Now a little thing I like to do.
Oh, you switched to that.
Yeah, it's just a good pilotmanship is to just switch a random frequency afterwards so people don't accidentally transmit meow or bark on 21.5.
Okay. Avionics master switch.
Don't have that.
We don't have that. 1000 RPM. Dead Mac check.
Good.
Very good. Mixture, cut off idle. The propeller up, mags off, master switch off.